Let's do it.
Awesome.
And Angela, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being patient and doing this interview with us. I know it's late here. I know it's kind of late there, but it's definitely late here. So I'm just happy that you're here. And especially after you just won your first WTA level doubles title. I mean, let's just start with that. What was that like? And can you walk us through that week?
For sure. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I know you're staying up a lot later than I am on the
Totally
East
fine.
Coast, but so excited to be chatting with you. Yeah, that was a really incredible, unexpected week. I was just so excited to begin with to be playing in my first WTA. I'll on the front end here admit I'm absolutely a huge romantic and a very big tennis dork. So just this whole idea of, wow, being on a plane and being on my first international trip already was super exciting. The fact that it was my first tour level WTA, super exciting. When I got to the site and saw this giant stadium, I mean, the amount of moments that didn't even involve being on a tennis court yet that, could have brought me to tears day one, already were tremendous and were enough for me to go home with that and be like, wow, what an incredible experience. So it was a bit of a fairy tale, honestly, for me. It's funny because when people ask me to, explain what really happened, everything that happened, at least on the court, was the only part that didn't feel like a fairy tale. I very much, I think, did a really good job, and Sophie as well, staying very present and staying in the moment with our matches. And there weren't any, courts or matches we stepped onto and felt like, oh, we have to do something amazing to win. So from a tennis standpoint, we very much believed we had the level and the capability to win what was right in front of us. And I think that definitely contributed to that end result. But yeah, I mean, it was just, if you would have told me walking in, do I expect to win a tournament? No, I don't expect to win my first WTA ever. But if you would have asked me individually with each match, do you believe you're going to win? The answer was yes. So it was an interesting experience trying to balance, this excitement and this romanticism with the practicality and competitive side of, you got to play some matches, dude. This is a serious event, but I think I handled it okay.
Absolutely. You can't really say that you handled it okay. You did phenomenally. I think for you and Sophie, and especially for your partner as well, you've been playing together for a while now. How long have you been playing with Sophie?
I think we're 10 months in. So our first tournament was the Berkeley 60K back in October of last year. So we won that one, played two more events that year, an 80 and a 125, lost in the first round of both of those, actually to the Aldila Sugiati, who we played in the final. So I think Sophie and I have actually only lost 5 matches in our career, and 3 of those are to Aldila.
You're
so
kidding.
That added to the grandiosity of the final for sure.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but that's just really, really funny. So you already, even after your first WTA event, you're still creating a rivalry with someone, and you're only 24?
Yeah, rivalry is a strong word. I mean, look, rivalry is a great word. Aldila, I haven't gotten to spend that much time with her off court. I'm new. I'm a rookie, so I'm just making friends. But in the small interactions with her, I've had with her off the court, she's a wonderful, really sweet human, and I'm looking forward to more battles. But yeah, she's definitely been a name we joked about. Our last loss to her was in the finals of the Charles Madrid. We're super thrilled about that already, and then won the 60 in Charlottesville the next week, and then made a run to the finals again in Charleston, and it was her. So she kind of ended our little dream run, and we were just cracking up on this drive to the next event in Bonita, because it was funny. It was one of those good problems to have, but because we were making the finals, obviously each week, we couldn't afford to get on flights, because if the flight got canceled, you're not going to make qualies for Sophie to play singles or for me to sign in for singles. So we had to rely on driving. So it was just this like insane, 8-hour road tripping. And
Oh
yeah, the
God.
one that after that one, we just kept talking about like, why can't we beat Aldila? Like what do we need to figure out to beat Aldila and make sure we get the next one? So, when I was scouting the semis, because they played after us in Hamburg.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely a part of me that was kind of rooting. There was a part of me rooting the other way, and then there was a part of me, you know what, I want this. I'd love another shot. Again, romantic. I'd love the storyline if we could make this happen. But yeah, I was over there taking notes.
I love that. And for you touched on it a little bit, and I kind of want to circle back after looking at your results more in depth. When it comes to pressure and kind of going into matches, what's your mentality like? Because I feel like, especially coming from a college background, the competitiveness and the edge that you have to have right off the bat is very strong. And especially, and I'm looking at your semifinal result and no offense, to be bageled in the first set of a semifinal of your first 250, and then to come back to win 6-4, 10-7. What goes through your mind when it comes to that word pressure for you?
So that match is funny. I will say what I said in the beginning about how every match felt winnable, and that was the one part that went kind of natural. That match was ridiculous. I think we won 4 points in the first set, and I went into that feeling really good. I play. I don't know if we even call it old school doubles, but I'm serving and volleying. I spend a lot of time at net. So in my mind, when I see, 2 really good singles players, and they are great doubles players as well, but, I watched the film on them before, and they looked like the type that were going to be sort of those big bangers who are ripping from the back. My eyes light up at that, because in my head, they're only dangerous if the ball bounces, and I'm not going to let the ball bounce. And I think Sophie is one of the best in the world from the back. So I saw that matchup, and I was like, look, Potapova beat Krejcikova the day before. So I was like, all right, she's having a week.
Yeah.
But I felt good about it. I was like, I love those matchups against those big bangers, because I just kind of feel like I can out doubles them or whatever. And yeah, it started so badly. I mean, I think we won 4 points in the first set. And then I was like, that happens. I mean, that doesn't happen, but I was like, 6-0 sets happen in doubles. We're going to be fine. We've got another set. We lose the first game and the second in like 15 seconds. And I remember literally on that changeover thinking, oh my God, you're going to get investigated by the tennis integrity unit.
That's what's going through your mind? Really?
That literally popped in. I was like,
why?
Because to get beat that bad in a semifinal of a 250, that literally, not seriously, but just as a joke, I was like, can you, and I said it, I think, to Sophie, like, dude, we got to figure something out, because this is really rough.
Wow.
But, it was more just something I think to lighten the mood, because we were definitely a bit like, oh boy, all right, we got to come up with something.
Tense,
but,
right?
Honestly, so we, I think got our foot in the door. I think we got to 1-1. Still went down 4-2 in the second with me serving. And, Sophie serves like 115. So we prefer Sophie to be serving. So I didn't love being in that position, but I don't know. I kind of remember when we got our foot in the door with the 1-1, I was like, all right, stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
You got your name on the board. Let's see. We stabilized. Like, this isn't a complete whatever. It's not going to be a double bagel. Can we get one more game? We almost got that game. I think we're down 2-1. We might have evened at 2-2. I'm really not sure, but
I think you won 5. You won 5 straight games, I think, in the second, because they went up basically 7-0. No offense. And then you went 5 straight games after being down, and that's how you won the second, right?
That would make sense. I just know we were down a set in 4-2, and it was deuce. I remember distinctly being in that position, like bouncing the ball to serve, like, do something, man, do something.
Just please, anything right now.
Exactly, literally. But no, I mean, that match, your original question to talk about pressure, the pressure in that moment, wasn't something like, the type of pressure you're facing where we're supposed to win this, first WTA semifinal, not a bad result. the things I was excited about probably going into that match, that was our first time on one of the stadium type courts.
Yeah.
So that was exciting for me. More of a crowd, that was exciting for me already. And I think it was more the thing to lose, if there was anything, was I realized like, oh my God, you're 5 seconds off playing in that stadium.
Yeah.
And when I saw the stadium the first day we got there, I was so mesmerized by it. It was beyond my scope of imagination that I would get to play in it. So that was the biggest thing for me. It was like that would be the coolest freaking experience. But it, I think one of the things that Sophie and I have that I feel might be pretty rare and pretty undervalued on tour is just our mindset and our approach to these matches. Obviously there's a desire to win and there's some competitive instinct, and it reflects in our results. I think our record this year is pretty ridiculous for what
it's really good.
And it's actually our 10-point tiebreak record. I believe someone told me the other day is 10 for 11 this year. So
yeah, you haven't lost. You didn't even lose one. I don't even think you forced an 8-all, or you didn't allow them to get to 9 in the last 7, 6.
Huh. All right,
yeah, the last one I think you lost was the semifinal?
Bonita Springs quarters.
In May.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Whatever it is. There's enough facts that, we clearly know how to compete and how to step up in those big moments, but I don't really think it has to do with this, like rah clutch gene or anything. I think it's just our approach is so based in, treating each match like an opportunity to raise our level and to test our level. And, just this belief that between the two of us, at least one of us is going to show up and is going to be able to help the other through whatever's going on. And there's just, so much trust and so much belief and respect between the two of us that, in those high pressure moments, I think Sophie's so freaking good and Sophie thinks I'm so freaking good. And between that, we complement each other and we raise each other's level. And, I think that's why we're able to produce our best tennis when it really matters, is there is just that trust and that belief in each other.
I think for you guys too, it's something how honest you are with each other as well. And I think that's really hard to capture. And I think when it comes to playing at the level that you're able to play at is the honesty of how far can you push yourself or how far can you play and test yourself, especially in these later stages. And along those lines, when it comes to and going into your college career, what was that like playing for probably one of maybe the most historic programs and colleges in the nation? What was that process like, and what was your, I guess, going into it mindset of playing for the Trojans?
Yeah, it was, those things were absolutely factors for me. I knew the history and the legacy I was coming into. Everyone from SC or who's going to hear this is just going to start cracking up because the amount of times legacy came out of my mouth, just because the alums on tour, Sabrina Santa Maria, Caitlin Christian, Juju Olmos, Danielle Lau, that gen, I looked up to them. I went through junior tennis looking up to them. And, when I committed to SC and decided to go to SC, I felt like I had this responsibility to, uphold what they had built. But, I feel like my time there was, honestly, just one of the more tumultuous times in the full history of USC women's tennis. My freshman year, we had coaching turnover. We had a rebuilding phase. I feel like we started really setting the foundation and building things, and then COVID hit, and that made things complicated and set us back a little bit. But, my first couple years there, I think I was just trying to figure out where I was at that point in my tennis career. I was a good junior. I was part of the USTA. I was part of that group that was, supposed to turn pro right off the bat.
Just clear path to the pros.
Exactly. I kind of call myself part of the guinea pig group because they got us really young. I think I started.
They got us really young.
They got us around 8. You know,
Oh God.
I was a baby, and I spent 10 years over in Carson at it was the Home Depot Center, and then the StubHub Center, and now the Dignity Health. So I was there for that whole
the whole transition.
Yeah, multiple evolutions. Yeah, you know, so I was touted as one of the prospects, and then I was injured from basically 15 to 17, had a couple surgeries, and, you know, 15 to 17 is going to be your prime years where we're either going to decide, oh yeah, you've got the chops and you're going to do it, or you're not, or, you know, you'll at least go to college. And that was tricky because I kind of went from, you know, 12, 13, 14, I was still a prospect. I was kind of, I'm young at that point, but on the radar of school. But 15 to 17, I fell off the map. So I didn't really honestly have that many. I didn't have my pick of the litter when it came to picking a school. So the fact that I landed a school like USC, Richard Gallion and Wes Knott had sort of been following me and came and watched me practice and made sure that my body was still intact enough to be
everything
worth
was
being
still there.
That it was, I had 4 functioning limbs, and you know, I'm always grateful to them that they took a chance and believed in what I could do. But, you know, I joke with Wes to this day that, you know, I still was very much a developmental recruit. Like I wasn't someone that was going to come in and put points on the board from the beginning. And I didn't, you know, I started freshman year, I played 6 singles, 3 doubles, and I think I went 500. Sophomore year, played like 4 or 5 singles. I did go up to number 1 doubles, still about 500. And, you know, after those 2 years, I think that whole time I spent honestly coming to the terms with the fact that pro tennis might be out of the question. You know, like I wasn't the top of college tennis. I was healthy, but, you know, clearly had missed some prime developmental years, and it was really tough on me. You know, I think I did a lot of work with our sports psych department at SC trying to work through that. And the irony of it is, I think when I finally got to that acceptance and was willing to, you know, admit or say out loud, this might be, college might be the end of the road for my tennis career. Weirdly, in coming to that acceptance, I feel like I actually got the freedom to really build my tennis again. So it was almost when I accepted your career would be over, was when I was able to make the jumps to sort of revive my career. And, you know, the summer of my sophomore year, I think that's 2018, you know, I spent the whole summer at SC working with Allison and Chris Wooten, and it was an all-day affair. I mean, there was hardly any days off. It was absolutely overtraining. It's a whole nother story, but, you know, I was all day long. I was in the gym at 6 a.m. and then in the gym again in the afternoon. I was practicing 2-3 hour sessions twice a day. You know, I was keeping Allison and Chris from their families, just dragging them out there to try to help me, but it worked. I mean, reps go somewhere, training goes somewhere, and it just took a little bit longer for it to click. But you know, I sort of started breaking out a bit my junior year, both singles and doubles, and then I think that was the year my partner Rihanna Valdez and I got to number 1 in the country going into the NCAA tournament, made the Final Four. And then my senior year, I was doing really well. I was top 15 singles.
You were 3 in the nation, right, for doubles? Your senior
year? I think
we
finished my junior year. We finished number 3 in doubles. The end. I don't even know senior year because it got cut in the middle, and we've all blacked out COVID.
and we're still on the decline, but it's still,
we are.
Yeah.
We're not in masks as often, but we are still on the decline.
Just smile through the pain.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no world that I'm here or playing professional tennis without college tennis and without the people that invested so much time and so much more time than was required of them to help me develop. And so I'm absolutely a believer in the college tennis pathway.
I think for you too, the common theme I'm hearing from this is just how much you had to work and how much is not given to you, and how much hard work you have to put into it. And for you being a Nadal fan as well, seeing that amount of effort that you get put into, it really does make a difference. So for you, your mentality is always hard work, not God-given talent. Would I presume that?
Yeah, no, you do. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say talent doesn't play a role. I think I
Yeah.
have a few gifts that no amount of work were gonna give me. You know, I do consider myself to be one of the more athletic females on tour or in college as well. But it was more what you put on top of that, because that's only going to take you so far. So absolutely, in college for me, like I'm very self-deprecating most of the time, but if there's things I'm going to take pride in, the amount of work and effort and just my work ethic in general is definitely something I do. I mean, you weren't going to find – oh, sorry about that.
You're fine.
See if I can mute that. So, quick. This is so funny because your towel's behind you. Like, that's my room, too.
I love that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I was just cracking.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, this is my childhood bedroom, and I just decided I'm not gonna adjust it.
Just keep it the same.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can replace them with my own towels, but yeah, that's hilarious.
I was gonna say, are we gonna get a room tour? Because the amount of stuff I see on your back wall is phenomenal.
I mean, we honestly could. There's actually some of this stuff is just random crap that you collect and want. Like, I don't know what that popcorn machine is. Like, I've never used it.
So it's just there?
It's just there. I don't know. It's a decoration now. I remember wanting it really bad and begging my aunt for it when I was like 10. Never used it, but that tennis ball thing up there is actually a gift I gave to my doubles partner, and then of course got one for myself.
Nice.
It kind of has all the away college balls.
Yeah.
So all the matches we won on other campuses.
Oh wow.
And the score from all of those sets. So that was the year we had our big run, and then a couple other. There's a ball there from the first ITF title we won, the Concord 60K that year, and then there's one more that's really random. I got to have this really cool practice match with Venus Williams at SC one day, and
what was the score?
So I won a set. I took the first set. I took the first set 6-1. It was kind of insane. I was freaking out about it. I wasn't even supposed to have this hit. I just had found out Venus was practicing on our courts at 5 a.m. And my plan was to just go sneak over there and hide in the stadium and kind of just peek and watch. That was my plan. And then it turned out her hitting partner bailed and they needed someone. And so Allison offered that I could hit. And I'm already flipping out about that. And then I get there thinking like, all right, just don't miss. Just put balls in the court. And then her coach goes, you cool if we play a few sets? And I, just crapped my pants. I was like, sure.
Just immediately lost your mind.
Yeah, I was like, that's all right, sure. I'll just, represent all of college tennis and every judgment she's going to have about women's college tennis. But no, I took the first set, 6-1. The amount of adrenaline was probably comparable to the amount of adrenaline playing the finals of Hamburg. And the coolest thing was that she got so not in a mean way. Like, you'd think someone that legendary would be playing this like hack SC college kid who's got this annoying slice backhand and drop shots all the time and just be like, screw it, I'm not gonna do this. And she got so competitive. You could just see the switch in her eyes. Mentality. You just saw it come out, and I mean she won the next set in like 12 minutes. I don't know. And then her coach was like, I think we're good right there. And I was like, awesome. I didn't lose. I did my job.
I just want to say that not many people can say that they took a set off. What, an 8-time Grand Slam champion, 10-time Grand Slam champion?
Something absurd.
Something like amazing like that. But
you're right. No, maybe that's my greatest. That might still be my greatest accomplishment in my career.
Did she tell me she signed the ball? If she didn't sign the ball, like, that would have been icing on the cake of you saying, I won 6-1 Venus Williams signature right under the ball.
I couldn't do that to her. I had to be.
Oh,
You know what was a bummer? There were a lot of compliance things that went into that hit being
oh,
possible, of
before
course.
the NIL.
Right, like a ton. And one of them was you couldn't, no cameras, no recording could happen. But we've got PlaySite on our courts over at Mark's, and I was like, if I just, the hit was super early. It was at 6 a.m. And I was like, if I just wake up at 4 and I go turn that freaking camera on anyway, and I don't tell anyone about it, maybe I'll have it. And I didn't do it because I'm absolutely a rule follower, but I regret that to this day. I really wish I turned that on, because I would have rewatched that first set only and been like, I don't know, the camera stopped working in the second, but that's how that hit went.
Did you get a photo at all or no?
Yes, we did get a
Okay.
photo.
Okay.
At least a
As
photo.
long as that's awesome.
Yeah, there's documented evidence.
At least people know what you've done.
Yeah, well.
Exactly.
Now they will.
Now they will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If Venus ever sees this and responds to this, I would love to hear her version of this story. And if she remembers you, because I feel like that would be, imagine she's like, oh yeah, I remember I kicked her ass in the second. Like that would be.
I'd love that. I would love that more than if she came and said something like I was a nice kid. If she literally came on and went, oh yeah, that hack, whatever, slice backhand, annoying Trojan, I kicked your ass in a second, that would make my life.
Yeah, she realized like, oh shit, I have to actually hit now. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was so impressed by the speed and just, I mean, obviously she's Venus Williams, but
what surprised you the most?
I mean, the speed probably, because you don't get a good enough glimpse of that on TV, and just because she's so tall and hits so big, you kind of just jump into that stereotype that she's just, first strike tennis. Yeah. But my singles game at least is very based in making things athletic and having a lot of variety and spreading people around the court. And I mean, the amount of times that I got caught, thinking the point was over and already, putting my racket down, and she was there. She covers. She's tall, but she's quick, so she covers the whole baseline in 2 steps. Yeah. So that was amazing. But no, more so was just the competitiveness. Someone of that level to care that much playing a scrub was amazing. And she was also just super warm. Was chatting with me. Was asking me questions. Love that. All the time. So something I'll always remember.
I also can't say that you can say scrub about yourself unless this is just something that you say about yourself in general, because
but if you put me next to Venus, you're putting me next to a goat. Next to a goat, I'm absolutely a scrub. I'm lucky to be a scrub next to a goat, especially then.
This is going to sound weird, but you're 5'7", right?
Yeah.
Is she that tall?
She's pretty tall. She's got to be over 6 foot. I was looking up to her for sure, figuratively and literally.
I literally took a set off her and I said, "Hey, great set." Just staring straight up at her.
Pretty much.
So back to the conversation.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to talk to you about this. There's 2 things. There's 2 now extracurriculars that we can talk about. Do you want to go the Instagram or the Food Network route first?
Supermarket Sweep wasn't. I wish it was Food Network.
Which one? What was it?
It's ABC.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't sorry. Walk me through ABC's Supermarket Sweep. ABC's Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times I've caught myself where I just had to look up and go, how did we get here? What position are we in right now? That has to be the biggest one. So someone reached out to me, a recruiter it was for Wipeout a year before. And when they found out that I'd had a few surgeries, I got nixed from that list immediately because the liability is through the roof. But I'm pretty sure
Imagine.
Right. I mean, Caitlin Christian and Juju Olmos, I think, did do it. So there's an episode out there of them on Wipeout, which anyone on Wipeout is fun to watch, but seeing people is tremendous.
It's awesome.
So they did that, and this recruiter, I guess, remembered me, and he reached out to me a year later He's like, I don't know if you remember me, but I have a new game show opportunity for you. I was like, Jesus, all right.
Sure.
I remember I was right about to go into practice, and I was like, okay, it's a weird phone call, but I'll take it. And, asked me, have you heard of Supermarket Sweep? I hadn't. And he was like, well, YouTube it. It's this weird show. It's I guess a remake. It was popular, I don't know, in the 90s or the 80s. And you're essentially doing supermarket trivia followed by this grand sweep where you run through a grocery store and you fill your cart with as much crap as you can, and whoever's cart is the most expensive at the end is the big winner. So I don't know, I said yes. It's a game show. It's a big game show. There's money. I'm broke. Maybe it'll fund a few tournaments on tour. Sure, why not? So there's a whole recruiting process. They were like, do you have someone who could be your partner? I went, yeah, I've got my doubles partner, and Rhea and I even look alike. So
Perfect.
The network liked us. We're ridiculous individuals, and you put us together, and there's definitely a fun back and forth. So we worked our way through the steps of the interview or audition process, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then we're there with Leslie Jones, like filming this. And then to make it better, like, it's already insane to be on a game show. It was a Halloween themed episode that we're shooting in whatever, July. So they put us in this like ridiculous getup for the whole episode. And the thing is, we studied, we did our homework. We went to grocery.
Really?
Absolutely. There was $100,000 at stake here. So we were pouring Ralph's, just looking at the price of things. Ree doesn't cook very much, but I do. So I felt like I'm actually, there's some talent.
Yeah. There's expertise in play here.
Yeah. There's some natural gifting or giftedness going into supermarkets. And then there was the effort, there were the reps of us watching episodes and reading Reddit threads and figuring out what do we have to do. But, we went into the trivia, and, it's standard trivia or game show stuff where you've got a buzzard. And I laugh about it, but I hacked the buzzard. So anyone listening, whoever goes on a game show, the way those buzzards work, they tell you wait until the question is answered before you click it. But you're not going to get penalized for clicking it sooner. So I just basically the whole time just had my hand, just like I was hitting the button 1,000 times a minute while the question's still being read. So there's this like amazing clip in there where Leslie Jones is like making fun of the other competitors because I hit the buzzard first. So I went 5 for 5 on this entire game. And she's like, is this because you're a tennis player and your reflexes are faster? And I was like, sure. And I played into that. But no, I was, I guess, not cheating, but I was hacking the system 100%. So, I mean, everything was going great. Like we were set up. You basically do the trivia for bonus time because the whole point is that sweep.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're so far ahead, and we knew from watching all the episodes, historically, if you have that much of a lead in time on everyone else, as long as you don't totally screw it up, you're gonna win. So we're feeling good going into the sweep, and buzzards go off. I thought I knew how much adrenaline was going to course through me, and I'm thinking, like, I've played a deciding match, like I can deal with the
Take
adrenaline.
in my expertise and throw the pressure in. Okay.
Exactly. I'm trained for this, whatever, and oh my God, no, I'm not. Like, your mind goes absolutely blank, and there's flashing lights, and there's cameras following you. But I knew it, and we prepared for it, so the whole point was I'm going to sprint, and Ree's going to tell me what to do. So Ree's going to be the brain, I'm going to be the feet. It's going to go great. And it started great. I hit what she told me to get in the beginning. And then I think like 30 seconds in, I was literally sweeping items off the shelf. So you're not allowed to create a mess if that's your intention. That wasn't my intention. I just, was sticking my arm out, running through my
putting
carts,
everything in,
sweeping jars. So stuff fell on the ground, and it was honey mustard, I guess, that cracked, and I didn't care. I kept running, but I'm wearing Converse, so they're thin-soled Converse.
Yeah. And
some of the glass stabbed through my shoe. It went through my shoe into my foot. So I literally got pierced, and I have this giant shard of glass, and I start like yelling like there's glass in my foot, but I didn't stop. Because I didn't know if I could stop. I thought someone would stop me, so I kept running, and I did the whole thing with this hole in my foot. And I still thought I won. So we get to to the end, and I like fall on the ground, and my my white Converse are bleeding, my socks bleeding, my foot's got a hole. And I'm like, everyone, of course, comes together. Like, oh my God, is she okay? And I'm like, screw it. I like look at my basket. I look at everyone else's basket. I'm like, we got it. We won.
I won.
I'm fine.
Give me my money.
Then, exactly. Give me the money. And then we didn't win. We lost by $100, which seems like a lot, but in that game can come out to, there's a lot of these weird bonus items that will, like for some reason a broom will be $100. And I was so upset. I mean, if we want to talk about matches that broke my heart, number 1 is going to be the Final Four of NCAAs. Number 2 is going to be supermarket sweep. Supermarket. I mean, I was devastated. Rhea was devastated. We were pissed. We were everything. We went home trying to figure out how can we call the network and say that this crap was rigged, and we were mad about that for weeks. And I think, honestly, only now, because I haven't thought about it in so long. A part of me knew one day this will be funny, and I guess
it is.
Today, sharing that with you, it's officially become funny. But in the moment, it was not funny at all. It was like the worst thing that had ever happened.
Well, I have to admit, the glass in the foot stabbing you does not help the fact that you're running with adrenaline pumping through your entire body.
No, not at all. And it's not the first time I've hurt my foot and had the adrenaline be the reason that the thing that kept coming.
See, again, another Rafael Nadal reference of, let me just play through pain until my foot flies off. So
it's helped me in certain moments. It's hurt me in others. In that moment, it didn't either. So we'll call it a wash.
I'll give you that. Now, the QB chick, that's you.
Yeah.
That's you.
Mm-hmm.
That currently has, as of right now, still has double the amount of followers you have on the Instagram I reached out to you on.
Yeah, it does.
Still does.
I should do something about that.
Walk me through that.
Okay, so that one, I mean, the very early origins of that is I was a tomboy, which is not surprising. As a super young kid, kindergarten, first day of school, whatever. First day of school, girls went to go play tag or whatever. I don't even know what girls play anymore. Boys went through the football. I went to go play with the boys, and I always did. So football was the first sport I think I loved, because that was recess for me every single day. And, I have a younger brother, so he's 16. We're 8 years apart. Okay. And I obviously cannot play football. And especially during those years I was injured from 15 to 17. Those were about the years that he was old enough to start playing sports. And he just became this project that I could live vicariously through. I can't be a boy, so I've got him, and he can play football. And I basically would go on YouTube and I would follow all the elite QB coaches, Jordan Palmer and Jordan Palmer.
Jordan Palmer.
Jordan Palmer. Greg Holcomb, whatever. These are names tennis people aren't going to know, but I
you
just
don't know
learned.
That. You could say,
you're right.
You could literally throw out any name right now, and they could be like, "Oh, I know that person."
You're right. It's true. I won't. I'll take it back then. But I don't know. I studied and I took drills, and in order to teach someone, I feel like you need to be able to do it yourself. So as I'm teaching my poor 7-8-year-old brother, I'm doing this stuff with him. So I was developing as well. And, I think college, look, the student athlete lifestyle is hard if you're balancing it with a social life. But like I said, I'm a huge dork. So I was tennis in school, Friday nights I was, and not out of this like Rafa Nadal or Kobe Bryant, I'm sacrificing and I'm going to hit serves at 10 o'clock at night on Friday. It was because that was fun for me. But, the nights I didn't do that, I had free time. So I figured, I don't know, what if we made some kind of account with this? And I think the first video actually was, I was with my brother and his, he eventually graduated to a real quarterback coach.
Fantastic.
Steve Clayman, he's great. He's like a member of our family now, basically. And he just filmed me at a group practice session with a couple high school boys and my brother. And I don't even know if he posted it or I made the account and I posted it. And, you know, this is with 0 followers. This is a brand new account, first video. It still got like 25,000 views in like a day. So I don't know. I just kind of saw an opportunity there for something stupid but fun that maybe one day could be monetized. I did not know NIL was going to be a thing. So I feel like I missed the mark just barely, and I'm still jealous about that. But I don't know. It just became this fun platform that I was just honestly showing off, just showing off what I could do. And as I kept posting things and started getting messages from people, I started to see that it was being interpreted as more, and it was becoming kind of a platform for me to, you know, push for women in sports. And, you know, I got a couple just really sweet messages that I didn't expect from just younger, you know, elementary school girls telling me, I saw your video and I'm going to try out for my flag or even tackle football league. And it was so touching and unexpected that I think only then did I realize, well, there's an opportunity for good here, and started trying to push it more in that direction. So that was where it gained purpose. But in all honesty, it absolutely started off as just a fun joke to fill some time because I didn't like to party.
No, I honestly, you have to give yourself credit because most great ideas just come from a simple, let me just post it and see what happens. And for you, looking at the content that you've created, this tough photo, I have to say, of you and your flag football team is really, really goes hard. I have to say, because I'm looking at it right now, so I'm going to call you out on anything, right?
Do it. I deserve it.
What is this? Shot some cool stuff with the artist. You're in a dark room, side arming a ball like Tim Tebow.
God, yeah, that was. God, that's what. This is why I'm not posting stuff anymore. I gotta go back. I haven't looked at that account in a while. I need to go back and
clean it up.
Maybe clean it up a bit. There was a photographer that used to come for fun on his own, shoot some SC matches, and he saw the QB chick thing, and he said, "Would you want to do a photo shoot for the QB chick?" And I don't know. I said, "Sure, why not?" And that was the stuff that came out of it. And yeah, God, that's. See, I knew these were gonna come back to bite me one day. And
live action game shot, I swear, with the cleats.
Yeah.
With the cleats.
You know how rough it was to have cleats on like a photo shoot.
Are you jumping in this too?
Probably. We were going for the dramatic. I think he shoots movie posters. So
that's a very movie poster. I just need 3D text.
This was dramatized as much as you possibly can dramatize a female amateur quarterback.
And featured on the news for the QB chick. I love this.
It did, yeah. It got a little traction at one point.
It got some buzz.
It got, yeah, I think there was a LA Times article. There was a Spectrum News.
CBS LA.
Yeah, ABC or something LA did a little snippet. That was just our SID, Katie Ryan at USC, always took such great care of me and sent that out and helped me, you know, try to build it. But yeah, this is where NIL, I feel like if I could have had that
you would have done
NIL, I think I really could have capitalized, because I did get some bigger people to reach out. I had Adidas messaged me.
Wow.
Overtime. It's another like highlight account on Instagram.
I've worked for them. Love Overtime. They do some great stuff.
They're fantastic. And the rules are just so strict. It couldn't make it happen.
Well, let me ask you this, kind of to transition to a different topic, and not to take up too much time of your night, especially on a Friday night. I don't know what you do on Friday nights now. Maybe go serve 1,000 balls tonight, but probably. The NIL deals today, it's interesting because I heard this from people that I work with from an international standpoint. Only Americans can sign NIL deals for universities.
I didn't know that.
And what impact do you think the NIL deals will have with, specifically, and just focusing on tennis, with tennis players themselves?
To be honest with you, I'm not that informed on how it works. You know, tennis is not football, but I think there is an opportunity within that to help build and promote tennis if it's done right. But I think the thing I'm most interested to see the impact on is how many of those players that are kind of on the cusp of should I turn pro and without NIL would go pro actually decide, let me do a year. I guess we'll get to see a little bit of that this year, and we'll see it more in the coming years. But I'm just curious how, you know, I'm hearing some of these deals in football, and there's, you know, like a high school football kid, Nico Imalieva, who's worth $8 million, and he's like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
So I know we're not there with tennis, but I'm just curious to see, you know, who is going to be like the hot shot that's able to bring tennis to the forefront like that, and then just kind of see how many people or how many juniors are going to now have that be a factor to consider when it's, am I turning pro or am I going to school?
Well, with that example too, we have Ben Shelton, who just won his first round of the ATP Tour.
Yeah.
And just, I left a random comment of, are you going pro? And this was probably a couple months ago when he first came onto the Challenger level tour, and he said no. But after this, how much money do you think you could make at an NIL level at Florida versus playing on tour for the first 6 months?
I don't have a clue. I mean, that's what I mean. That's what I'm intrigued to see. I don't know how much you can leverage college tennis. I don't know if I think it deserves to be, but I don't know if college tennis has enough exposure where the value of that is going to be higher than it will be on tour. Because I don't know. I mean, it was fun. I watched his match last night, and how many shirts did that guy go through?
It's like watching Tiafoe switch 5 shirts within the first set.
It literally was. I mean, he was going on it was like a brand tour. It was almost like you could use that so they could all show up at his door tomorrow pitching him. But I don't know. I've heard a few things just from, I'm still close with Erin Cayetano, who's still on the team's #1 in the country. And, she's shared a few people that have pitched to her, and every single time I'm just like, damn it, man. That's so cool. That is so cool. That's a yes. That's an automatic yes. And then she calls me and another person reached out. But
must be nice.
It's a great, I'm absolutely jealous of that whole setup, but good for the players. Anything that helps,
it's true.
It's really, especially the ones that want to go pro after. I mean, it's hard out here. I'm moving in the right direction, and the beginning is definitely not about making money, but in Hamburg I was all excited because once we won, it hit me for a second like, oh, maybe you make some money this week. This is a WTA. And
maybe you profit from going to Germany.
Maybe. And I didn't. I actually lost money on that trip.
Did you really?
The flights were just so expensive. I lost a little money. Yeah, in the end. It's crazy.
That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And my last question to you is, what if you could change, besides the NIL deal, what would you change in college tennis to promote the sport better versus what you saw when you were at USC? Because you were at the forefront of one of the biggest brands in the United States with USC, with the Trojans. What did you see that you personally wanted to change to help grow the sport to a bigger audience?
That's a good question. I think the route we've been going is we keep trying to change the format of the sport, and I don't think that's a bad idea. I love actually no ads. I think it makes it more exciting. Whatever, taking out the warm up so things move quicker. I just don't think the issue really comes from. I feel like when you're doing that, you're trying to manipulate the entertainment value, and I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is literally just the exposure. So it sounds crazy, but the more money we can just put into social media, the more deals we can get, getting matches on, I know we get ESPN3. If we could find
just
a way,
make
even
it you.
Even if it's at 1:00 in the morning, just getting stuff out there, because college tennis is so freaking fun.
Yeah.
I mean, pro tennis obviously is, but when people try to complain about the level being different, I think what makes sports exciting in general doesn't really come from the level that you're witnessing. It's the fact that you're witnessing two equal levels, and there's an unknown and who's gonna win. And there's a different energy, there's a different excitement. I mean, I've had to tame myself quite a bit on tour because I don't want to be that that
person
college kid, right?
Yeah.
So I've brought it down, but there are definitely moments where I'll joke Sophie didn't play college tennis, and so she'll see it where I start getting really loud all of a sudden in a match, and I'll be like, yeah, that's the college. Sorry, the college came out of me. Just taper,
Taper.
Hush. But yeah, I just think there's a little too much emphasis on trying to change the format instead of putting the emphasis on just finding ways to add exposure, because I don't think entertainment's the problem. The level is great, the format's great, the energy, the excitement's great. Just get it out there. More people have to see it. That's it.
I totally agree. And Angela, I really do appreciate you being here. And this conversation was a lot of fun. I feel like I could talk to you for another 3 hours about anything, to be honest. So I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us. And I can't wait to see what you do next, because let's be real, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So,
yes,
and
very much so.
Ironically, you're still younger than me, so I'm still kind of upset about that too. So, if you guys want to check out Angela, they can find you on your Instagram, right? Do you have Twitter too that people can look for, or no?
I do, yeah. Both the same, just at Angela Kulikov.
Should they follow the QB chick? Yes or no?
Sure.
Yes or no?
World, maybe that gets revived one day.
Well, maybe you'll. Hey, Overtime can call you. Trust me, they got some good brand people that I can get you in touch with.
That'd be great. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to get verified on my Instagram right now. I was trying to capitalize on.
Imagine if
maybe this is legit enough, and I still got denied. And
imagine if QB Chick gets verified before.
I think it would. I really think it would. And that's such a bummer. But I don't know what I need to do for us to consider my tennis career more successful than my amateur football career. But have at it. You want to follow that account? There's some funny, and there's clearly some embarrassing stuff that you
not embarrassing, just thoughtful.
Yeah.
Put in effort content.
Yeah.
All right.
Fine. We'll give it that. We'll
give it that. Angela, I really do appreciate you doing this, and hopefully, guys, go follow her journey. Congratulations to you again for the Hamburg title. It's amazing, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks so much, Phil. I appreciate you having me on.
No worries. Thank you.